and they put me behind like a curtain, but it was like a curtain you can see through. And they said, okay, just try it and follow us, go up and down like this and just do what we do. And I said, okay. And so I did that, and then after that was over, then I was just like, well, you know, okay, and thank you very much. And they go, well, why don't you be Muslim today? And then I said, well, no, I just really want to read this stuff. I want to, you know, just find out. I'm just thinking about it. And they go, oh, well, do you know, and it's fourth floor up in Chicago, okay, and there was a very busy street down below. They said, do you know if you cross that street and you get hit by a car and you die, you will go to hellfire? And I was like, impossible, because I'm Catholic and Catholics don't go to hell. And they said, oh, they go, okay, we know. You want to go out with your boyfriend one more night before you accept Islam. I say, I don't have a boyfriend. And they're like, okay, we know. You want to go out drinking with your friends. You want to go out drinking with your friends one more night before you accept Islam. I go, well, I don't drink. Because by that time I wasn't drinking alcohol anymore, because I started, another thing I liked about Islam is that they don't like alcohol. And so already I wasn't drinking anymore like for a year before that, because I knew there's something really bad about alcohol. And so they're like, okay, so if you want to accept Islam, there's this other mosque in, you know, North Chicago. If you want to accept Islam, go up there, usually about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there'll be someone there and you can accept Islam. I said, okay. And it was Friday, so I was thinking about going there that Sunday. And then something came up and I went out to lunch with a friend. I didn't go there. So then the next Sunday was coming up, and it's like, I think I'm going to go there. So I had the address, and then on the way there, I got lost in my car, and I kind of like started turning around, because it was like a part of Chicago like I never really had been to before. So I had to stop my car and get out the map and look which way I turned. This is, you know, no GPS then. This is 1987. So I looked at the map and I figured out what I was doing wrong, and then I turned and I went up the street to like where it was. I was pretty close, and then couldn't find any place to park. But then I remembered very vividly. I found a place to park. There was nothing on the front of that place, so I went in, and then when I got inside the front door, nobody talked to me, and I could see like all these men like from India. Of course, I didn't know there was a Pakistan. Everybody with that look is India, okay? So I went inside and I stood inside the front door and nobody talked to me. And I was just like, oh boy. And you know, I just felt kind of shy to go to those men that were in that office, you know, working away. So finally, one guy asked me, he said, can I help you? And then I was just like, yeah, I said, I'm interested in becoming a Muslim. Oh, okay, are you American? Yeah, I said, yes, I am. Then they go, okay, so they went and ran and brought one other sister who's an American. And then she kind of like hung out with me for, I don't know, half an hour or so. And then another lady who's an American, she came and she said, okay, pray with us first, and then after we pray, you can become Muslim. So I said, okay. And then I just did their prayer, whatever they do. I didn't have a scarf. Of course, they had to give me a scarf and everything. And so then I just followed that, and then she brought her husband, and then her husband said we were sitting in the sisters area, and then he said the Shahada, and I repeated it after him. And then that was it. I was Muslim right there. In April 1987.
What was you expecting and what was happening? Because you went 2 times to ask about Islam and that. Sometimes did you think that when I go there, they will angry on me, or they will? What you were supposing from the Islamic peoples and towards them, and what you found?
Well, I didn't expect anything, because I didn't even know any Muslim people. I didn't know anybody from Malaysia. I didn't know anybody from Pakistan. I didn't know anybody from Turkey. I didn't know anybody from any Muslim country. I didn't have any expectations. I just expected that I was going to just start participating in like their activities and their prayer times was my expectation.
So let's continue about your Islamic life. After you became a Muslim, did you change your mind about Muslims and Islam? I mean, in the next days, what you understood? Because sometimes you say that this I was looking, I find, but sometimes day to day, when you go to the tail of the knowledge of Islam, you think that you find something terrific or something unique, you know. So in that period, what did you feel in the next days that when you after some years?
Well, like I said, I didn't know anybody Muslim before I accepted Islam, so I didn't, what do you want to say?
You understand? I mean, after following years, what's changed? I mean, your faith is increased, how much you know, because you see, in that time you saw some little part of Islam. One time you pray and something generally you understood Islam, then you became Muslim. But after some years, of course, you study. And could you talk about that period, how it went, how it passed, those years?
Well, I just started to learn more and more about Islam. I attended tafsir classes, and the tafsir became like very dear to me. I just, till this day, just love to know the meaning of what the Quran says. So I went to tafsir classes, and those were just fantastic. It was given by a man from India, and whenever he was saying, you know, like something from the Quran, he would like look to the sky and like go like this on his beard, and it was like he was getting into a revelation, but it was just fantastic. And I just started reading more books and praying 5 times a day, and then after 3 months I decided that hijab was for me, and then I started wearing hijab like 3 months after I accepted Islam. And then that's when I lost my job at the law firm.
Talk about that.
I was still working at the law firm in downtown Chicago, and then I decided I was going to wear hijab, so I went to work with it on. And then I knew that when I did that, I'd have to write down everybody's comments. So I have a list somewhere here around my house of what everybody said when they saw that on my head. Okay, some people were like, oh, you know, that's great. I mean, it's Chicago, it's like liberal. And other people would say like something kind of real off, you know. And so after about 3-4 weeks, on a Friday afternoon, one of the managing partners of the law firm called me in his office like 4:45, 15 minutes before going home, and said that they were sorry, but they have eliminated my position at the law firm, and that this was my last day. So, took my stuff out of my desk, and that was it. Left at 5 o'clock.
What you felt in that time?
What did you say?
What did you feel that time after? I mean, what was your feeling? You're angry or you're happy or what? What was
Well, I had mixed feelings. It was, you know, after going to work like for so long and like being in an office and not outside all day, in a way I liked that because I was going to have some time off. And in a way I was, you know, like really scared because I didn't have a job. But I got hired at Beatrice Corporation across the street from that law firm like in the next 2 weeks. I got hired for another job. And they made a praying place for me. They had no problem with the hijab. It was just a blessing. So, you see?
Blessing from Allah, huh? You lose something and Allah give you plenty.
That's right. So, maybe it was an even more exciting job.
And you said that you studied tafsir. Then how do you educate yourself? What did you study then?
Well, I already had been to University of Wisconsin. I graduated from there with a BA in political science. Then I went to paralegal school in Chicago. at Roosevelt University on Michigan Avenue. And then I went to law school later on, like 10 years later, I went to law school.
No, I mean Islamic education.
Oh, the Islamic
Yeah.
education. Oh, okay.
If you want to think in this subject, that's great for pray.